Dora's Turn by Jackie Podesta Batanda, read by Damien Lynch. War is always, in any place, at any time, a terrible thing. The heart cries out against the killing, but still it happens. Somewhere in Uganda, Dora and her friend Akayo, who tells this story, are fighting in a war. They carry big AK-47 guns, and they know all about death and killing, pain and fear. They are children, 12 years old. The little boy's cries are getting quieter, weaker. I can only just hear the words. Please, please. No, no, no. Help me. Help. Now there is a louder voice. The voice of Mad Tiger, our commander. He is 14 years old. Hit him harder, he shouts at us. Get closer to him. Use your whips. Harder. The noise of our whips through the air is louder than the boy's cries. Our war is good, shouts Mad Tiger. We must clean out bad people. We are soldiers. No escaping, no running away. Everyone must fight. The other commanders smoke their cigarettes under a tree. Go on, they laugh at us. Get blood on your hands. The boy on the ground stops moving. Our whips are still. It is over. I feel ill. There is something hard in my throat, like a stone. I can't breathe. My friend Dora also tried to escape, and she'll be next. They will order me to kill her. Dora and I have been close. We are both 12 years old. Dora, who is going to be a doctor after the war. Dora, who wants to save lives, to stop the killing. Dora, who has been my friend when I wake in the night, screaming, because I can see the faces of all the people that I have killed. The AK-47 is heavy on my shoulder, and I stand, waiting for Dora's turn. And the stone in my throat gets bigger. Akayo, Mad Tiger shouts. I turn and look at him, hiding the fear in my eyes. It is a crime to show fear. My mouth is shut in a hard line. This helps to stop the tears coming into my eyes. Yes, Afande, I say quietly. My voice must not be angry or unhappy or afraid. Just quiet. That way, he will not hear my fear. I give a soldier's salute to my commander, take my gun off my shoulder, and hold it up against my body. The gun points up to the black sky and the full moon. and the moon looks down at us, watching these deaths. Mad Tiger smiles, his teeth shining white in the moonlight. He looks pleased. Are you ready? I cannot speak, but I nod my head. They push Dora forward, and she falls on the ground in front of me, trembling. She is so small and thin, like a flower shaking in the wind. Our eyes meet. We cannot use words, so we speak with our eyes. I don't want to do this, my eyes tell her. But Mad Tiger and the other commanders are watching us. So I take Dora's arm and pull her to her feet. I want to ask her questions. Why did she try to escape without me? Why, Dora, why? We have always known each other's secrets before tonight. Holding Dora's arm, I push her towards the trees. The killing will happen there, behind the trees, where no one can see. They are watching me. I can feel their eyes on my back. Perhaps they are following us, but I can't turn round to look. My legs are trembling. The stone in my throat gets bigger. My hands are hot and wet, and my fingers are making red marks on Dora's arm. I take my hand away. I can't do this. Not to Dora. We've been here together for 3 years. Don't be sorry, Dora whispers. You have to do it. Everybody has to do it. She mustn't talk. Someone will hear. Afraid, I look behind me. We are alone. Quickly, I push Dora further into the trees. We stop. I'm cold. I'm afraid. I can't do this, I cry. You must, Dora whispers, or they'll kill you too. Then they must kill us both. The stone in my throat goes away with those words. You're my friend. We can run away. Look for the government soldiers. Ask for help. I speak excitedly. We can do it. Akayo, Dora says. Stop this talk. You know we... At that moment comes the sound of heavy guns behind us, where Mad Tiger and the others are. What? Whispers Dora. Suddenly I understand. Those are government army guns, not our guns. A helicopter gunship has found Mad Tiger's group. This is our chance. I drop my gun and take hold of Dora's hand. Run! Dora stares at me, not sure. Do you still want to be a doctor? I shout. Suddenly, Dora's feet come to life again, and the ground under our running feet trembles.
Callous by Janet Tae Hui Ching. Read by Nicolette Mackenzie. Some people don't find it easy to talk about their feelings. If they have never talked about them, it can be hard to begin. And year after year, it gets harder and harder, just like a callus on the skin. A wife watches while her husband packs his suitcase. A great change is coming into their lives, but maybe it is easier to talk about the suitcase. She watched him pack his clothes and his wedding suit into his old suitcase. She could smell his cologne. When did he last wear cologne? Ah, at their wedding. It smelled strange then, too. She never wore perfume. What use was perfume to a working woman like her? And married women who wear perfume are looking for lovers, trying to catch other men. That's what people say. She already had a good, hard-working husband with a shop of his own. What more can a woman want? She began to feel better now, thinking about her good luck. Lost in her thoughts, she jumped at the sound of the suitcase shutting. His eyes went slowly round the room, looking for what? She looked up at him. I put out all the clothes that you need, she said. And you can't get any more in. It's a small suitcase. He looked at her for a moment. A Chinese girl like any other Chinese girl. Small eyes, flat nose, smooth pale skin, and long straight hair, now pinned up tidily, in the way of married Chinese ladies. She wore her usual light blue samfu. No, she was not a beauty, he thought. But she was a hard worker. His family was right when they said to him, "She will make a very good wife, work hard for you, give you many sons." And it was true. He never had to complain about her, not once. From the day they married and moved into their new home, with his future in the same suitcase. Her face was the same now as it was then, neither soft nor hard, never showing what she felt or needed. He didn't know what she needed, and he never asked. It's a good suitcase. It's lasted a long time, he said. Yes, I suppose. But it's still small. She got up from the bed and shook the pillows. They needed washing, she thought. Yes, wash it away, the dust and dirt of yesterday. Their past married life together. In the future, nothing would ever be the same again. It's enough, he said. I don't have so many things to put in it. He put the suitcase on the floor, ready to go. She looked at him, still smelling his cologne. Maybe it was the cologne that was making her feel afraid. She had to talk to him, tell him about her feelings. But she was a hard-working Chinese woman. And hard-working Chinese women must not have feelings. Is she waiting for you there? She asked slowly. You mean the hotel? Yes. I suppose the ceremony starts soon. She picked up one of the pillows and took off its cover. Yes, it needed washing. She wanted to get hold of him and shake him, scream and shout, and fall on her knees in front of him, crying, "No, no, please stay, don't go. I'll be a better wife. I'll work harder. I'll work as hard as 2 wives." But she just stood there, saying nothing, doing nothing, her face showing nothing. I suppose, he said. You'll be back in 2 days? He didn't want to talk about her feelings. She never did before. But then, it wasn't every day that your husband brought home a new wife, a younger wife, only 19, and beautiful because she was young and happy and had big dark brown eyes, bright eyes. He only saw her once before he decided, but he remembered her eyes. It would be good to add her to the family, he thought. Now, he would have 2 hard-working wives, one stronger than the other. But the young one would be like a new flower in the house. He picked up his suitcase. Yes, perhaps sooner. I don't know, he said. I'll take care of the shop, she said. When you come back with her, I'll have some jobs for her to do. She sat on the bed again, suddenly feeling tired and old. He didn't understand. No one understood. She couldn't ask him not to go. People would say that she was wrong even to ask him. Of course, he said. He was pleased that she thought of business. Business was important. He had many mouths to feed. He opened the door and turned to her. Today is a great day for our family. Not everyone is rich enough to have 2 wives. And there will be more sons to continue the family name. He smiled at her. Yes, not everyone. Husband? She looked up at him, waiting, hoping. I have to go now. I'm late. He did not want her to say anything. He never asked questions about her feelings because he was afraid of the answers. It was easier to pretend that she was happy all the time. Your suitcase. It's old. You need a new one. Thankfully, he turned away. No questions asked. No answers needed. Perhaps I will get a new one, after all, he said. He left the room, and the door closed quietly behind him.
Nimble Fingers by Anuradha Muralidharan. Read by Shelley Islam. Life is never easy for the poor. They have to work long hours just to get a roof over their heads and 1 meal a day. If their children are lucky, they go to school. If they are not lucky, they have to work. Krishna, who tells this story, is not lucky. He has to work in a factory making beedis, a kind of Indian cigarette. He is a good worker because his young fingers are small and quick and nimble. I cannot read or write, but I can count, but only up to 1,500, because that is the number of beedis that I need to make in a day. My life is easy to explain. If I wake up early, I can play for about 1 hour, or until the sun begins to light up the eastern sky. For that 1 hour, I am free. As free as the birds which sit on the tree outside my home. My home is a hut with a roof of dried leaves. It is very small, but the 3 of us can just sleep in it, and I go away really early and come back in the nights, so only my mother and my little sister are there in the daytime. In the nights it is a bit crowded. When we sleep, my arm is often around little Tangachi, or Amma's thin foot is resting on my leg, but it doesn't matter. The other day I asked Amma, "How old am I?" She counted on her fingers. 6. 6 sounds very small when you think about 1,500 beedis, but Sami, the owner of the factory where I work, always says that I have nimble fingers. That night, when we were having our meal outside our home, I asked Amma, "What does nimble fingers mean?" "It means your fingers are like Weaver Mama's fingers," she said. "When your uncle spins his cloth, have you seen how quickly his fingers move, pulling the threads this way and that way? I love to watch Weaver Mama working, and now I am very happy because my fingers are like his." I asked Amma one more question while we drank our rice soup. "Why do I have to work with Sami and not with Weaver Mama?" This question made Amma unhappy, and when she is unhappy, she hits her head with her open hand. The noise is very loud, and she goes on hitting her head again and again, making a pat, pat, pat sound. It scares Tangachi and me, and I can see that the small one is ready to cry. I put my fingers, nimble fingers, on Amma's hands to stop her hitting herself. She takes both my hands in her hand and starts crying into them. I can feel warm tears dropping onto my fingers. Here I am, happy that I have Weaver Mama's fingers, and Amma is crying. She looks at the black marks on my hands and the cuts on my finger ends. She kisses my hands and holds me and Tangachi close to her. "Amma," I ask again, "why can I not work with Weaver Mama?" Tangachi is pushing her finger into my back. Her eyes are telling me to stop my questions, but I want to know. If I can make 1,500 beadies in a day, surely I can help Weaver Mama weave his beautiful cloth. Amma never answered my question that day, but I just went on asking. I asked the same question every night until the next full moon. That night, Tangachi was already asleep. Amma and I were sitting outside watching fireflies dancing in the moonlight. Amma held me close to her and said, "Krishna, you have to work all your life with Sami, the bonded labor man. You have to do this to pay back your grandfather's debt. You cannot work for another person because your grandfather has taken 5,000 rupees and sold you to Sami. All your life you will have to work for him in the same way as your father did." I look down to the ground because I do not want Amma to see the tears in my eyes. I am a brave boy, you see, but suddenly my nimble fingers don't feel so nimble anymore.
The Festive Season in a Part of Africa by Todd Collins. Read by Saul Reichlin. If you are a poor farmer and you only have one cow, it is important that it doesn't get sick. Because if it does, and you need to get a vet to come and see it, that can be very expensive. But if you are afraid that your cow will die, then you must send for the vet, even if it is the festive season and Christmas was only 2 days ago. "2 days after Christmas, a Zulu woman and her schoolboy son sat waiting for me to finish my morning's clinic in Ondini. She wanted me to visit her old mother's cow, which had a calf waiting to be born. But for 2 days now the calf would not come out, and the poor cow was getting very tired. "We have heard that you are a good vet," the woman said to me. So off we went. The schoolboy in the front of my pickup to show me the way, and the woman and my assistant Mbambo in the back. An hour of driving on bad roads full of holes, and after that on dirt tracks. Then we stopped at an old empty kraal. "Where's the cow?" I asked the boy. "We walk a bit," he said. So we took my vet's black bags and we walked, past other kraals with their fields and their fruit trees, and many of them with huts not lived in and falling down. We walked over rocks and by the side of rivers, and after about 45 minutes we came to a lonely kraal. There were 3 white huts, a clean, tidy yard, and there, under the fruit trees, was the poor old cow, looking very, very tired. They brought out 2 nice wooden chairs with colourful seats from the middle hut. I put my black bags on them, but first I said hello in the proper Zulu way to Granny, who owned the cow. Nkosikazi, I called her. She was a very small woman, but she was the head of her family in the kraal. Then I looked at the cow and found that the calf was still alive and very, very big. So, with Mbambo helping me, I put the cow to sleep and did a cesarean. When I finished, there was a crowd of about 50 people watching, men standing, older women sitting on the ground, children sitting in the fruit trees. Now the bull calf was trying to stand on his feet and shaking his head from side to side. Someone brought a chair for Granny to sit on. "We must talk about money. Is business now," she called out so everyone could hear. "Well," I said, "you nearly had a dead cow and a dead calf. But I came and got the calf out, and so now they are both alive, not so?" She agreed, and 50 other people agreed too. And I drove all the way from Ondini in my pickup, which is a thirsty car, as thirsty as an old man drinking beer on a Sunday. Smiles and laughter. And if you take good care of this calf, and he grows into a strong young bull, when he is a year old, at the market in Ondini, they will pay you 1,500 rands for him. Not so? Yes. The old men in the crowd nodded their heads. And the cow, she is old and tired, and the flies are very bad this summer. But if she lives, next autumn you can sell her for over 2,500 rands. Loud noises of agreement from the crowd. So then, Nkosikazi, my work has given you about 4,000 rands that you didn't have before. Yes. So, how about we go halves, and I take 2,000 rands? Much whispering between Granny and her friends. "That's lots of money," she said. "Yes, it is," I said. "And we have just had Christmas, and soon it will be New Year, and maybe the cow will die. So it is better that I don't ask for so much. You can pay me just half of that, 750 rands. Louder whispering and nods of agreement. "But," said the schoolboy who was standing behind his grandmother, "half of 2,000 is not 750. It is 1,000. "Ho, ho," I said. "I can see you are a clever young man. I made a mistake. But if I said 750, then I shall still say 750 and not change it." Well, what a noise there was after that. Everybody was smiling and happy. Granny pulled out a great big handful of 200 rand notes, and she gave 4 of them to me, with her other hand open upwards next to the giving hand, in the proper Zulu way. I took the money from her with my 2 open hands side by side, in the proper Zulu way, counted the notes and said, "Inkosikazi, you have given me too much." She stood up and said, "Keep the 50. It is for your assistant, Mbambo." Man, the season of goodwill is amazing. Then we walked back for an hour, mostly uphill, with a long line of helpers carrying my bags. We stopped sometimes to eat the sweet wild fruit that grows around most of the old kraals in this part of Africa in the festive season.